Yeah, for some reason my sound was Bork. Um, that makes a lot of sense actually, because I was like moving this stuff around. I don't particularly need to hear myself. I just want to make sure the speakers were working. How's it going, Payne? Um, so yeah, um, hmm. I'm kind of stuck in thought about how to do the sound system because we're going to get ready to move here, and I'm going to have to figure it out. I'm also going to have to figure out an option that doesn't include the studio's monitor speakers, which is probably going to be putting me back in headphone land. Anyway, okay, so what are we doing here? You know, I'm just gonna turn this down. I don't really need that on right now. Check 1 2. Check. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, you guys can hear. I don't know. Let me check. Check 1 2. The whole studio stuff. I swear to God, you lose so much time just messing with studio stuff. That's why I don't do video anymore. I mean, I like video. I liked having, doing the video and having fun and everything, but obviously, but it just takes a lot of time, and I'm trying to get efficient here. So yeah, I'm gonna blow away the Git repo here. So now it's just another directory, and then I'm gonna delete this one. So yeah, that'll give us our first version. Before I do that though, because I'm gonna keep this around, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the README file. I'll keep this as kind of backup, but a couple of files in here that I don't really want around. Actually, Quint, there was a minor change to the grammar, so it will change the library. I haven't changed the Go code for this yet. So I added according to the semantic version specification, pre-release version may be demoted by appending a hyphen and a series of dots separated identifiers. The identifiers are alpha nums with dash. So identifiers must be empty, blah, 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 blah. So we actually need to support this because I really love this clarification. A pre-release, this is really important. Okay, so it says here, a pre-release version indicates that the version is unstable and might not satisfy the intended capability requirements as denoted by its associated normal version. So actually, after reading that, I think most people are doing semantic versioning wrong. They're incrementing like I did. They're incrementing the minor version, a lot, but incrementing the minor version, even with a 0.1, it sort of indicates that it's not a pre-release version, and that it can be used anytime, and that's not true. So I plan to start using this a lot more in my code. If you add a pre-release version to a semantic version, it automatically identifies it as not being released. And anybody who doesn't understand semantic version, it's up to them, but dash alpha does the job. So in order to do that, it was really easy for me to make the decision to add dash. I don't intend to add support for build metadata, which is separated by a plus, because that doesn't make any sense in a spec. But the dash is I am, and so I've added that here. So if you go here and you look, here we go, the version. So the dash extended version is optional. And you get this stuff down here. It says that you can have a dash. So I figured whatever. I didn't want to make it complicated than it had to be, but it says. In fact, they use that in one of their examples. They use a thing here, see, where it's just a dash and it's just like an empty dash. I don't even know if that's a dash. I think it might be a hyphen. It's not the same character as that. I think this is a busted example, but who am I to complain? My point is that if you want to have a dash, that's fine, even though it's stupid. So here's the definition, prever. So significant is pre-ID and then dot whatever, multiple dot pre-IDs. optionally, and then word characters, which are A through Z, lowercase, uppercase, 0 through 9, and a dash. And so then we have those pre-IDs, but that all gets loaded up in Prever, which will show up up here in the version section of the AST. All right, so, and that allows me to do this, the dash alpha, which is better than the other stuff. If we wanted to, so I could do this, I could do alpha.1, alpha.2, alpha.3, and that's probably the better way to go, because while we were doing the development, everybody would know it was alpha, and it was just an incremental change. I don't even know if I would tag all of those, because it was a real hassle to tag them all, as it's going to be now to delete all the tags. So yeah, so that's why I did that. I hope that's okay with everybody. And so yeah, that does mean that the core parser is going to have to change, the reference implementation. I'm really happy to report, Quint, that that according to the Linux Foundation and GitLab, the only thing we need to do to cover ourselves legally is include this document in our project. The end. That's it. So, and then of course have a clean legal pedigree in terms of who owns the project, like, because they're going to look for ownership of the project, which is why we had to do all that other junk. But that means that any commit, according to GitLab, any commit to the project constitutes acceptance of the contributing agreement. Can you believe that? Isn't that great? It's called, I did a lot of research on this, so I feel really confident in it. It's actually called, there's a whole bunch of DCL versus CLA. I thought for sure we were going to have to do GPG signing and all that jazz. Nope. In fact, I have in very black and white terms from GitLab, from somebody who supports the project, that all you need to do is commit. The commit constitutes a legal agreement that you accepted the contributing agreement. And the contributing agreement is pretty nice. It's what you would expect, right? The contribution to creator whole part by me. That means that you own it. Submit open source indicated file, or the contribution is based on previous work, that blah blah blah, or it came from somebody else and I'm just uploading it. And this covers you. This is why you don't need to have GPG signing, in my opinion, because it says, hey, I didn't actually make this contribution, but I'm doing it for somebody else. So it still covers that too. I understand the agreement is, it's going to release your public information, blah blah blah. Okay, so no more messing with that, thank God. Oh my God, I was so happy to hear that. You have no idea. So once again, Linux to the rescue. The whole CLA madness was in 2015, I think, was making the Linux Foundation really crazy. They were like, this is insane, we can't do this. So they came up with this, and apparently it's been tested in court and everything. So I feel confident to do what they're doing. Good news all around. All right, so I have no tags here. I wish I could kind of stash my project, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to shoot to finish this today, so I'm going to go ahead and just hold off on messing with the GitLab stuff. I just don't want to fall into the mistake that this has already been committed. I'm flying without a net a little bit here, so I think I might not do that. So, and I just, put the little things here. I was just finishing the Apache 2.0 license stuff. I'm trying to think about, this is, because I'm going to be writing this all day. I just don't, in case I mess something up, I don't want to, I'm going to just make a copy to another directory and I'll be fine. All right. So we're going to be cleaning this up for the next hour or two. Really boring stuff. So if you're joining us, if you happen to be on YouTube, by the way, you'd be nuts to be on YouTube at this hour. But probably should go check it. Yeah, documenting PEGN with Special Certificate. Oh, yeah, for watching. What the hell? What are people doing? Crazies? Yeah, documenting PEGN with Special. Oh, is there a chat? No, there's no chat. Clean up the PEGN specification. I'm kind of liking this whole restream thing, and now that we have 1080p going on, it's very satisfying. I like the fact that we can reach out to others. So guess we're good. All right, back to this. And there's no music. PEGN, parse expression grammar notation, a combination of PEG, AB, and F. And I'm going to say the best of PEG, AB, and F, and JSON. All right, language PEGN. I have to remember this thing down here. PEGN and then PEGN. I'll go R trade. Blah blah blah. I want to be able to transfer ownership to somebody besides me, like a foundation stuff. But that's like, I'm kind of thinking way ahead. Like, I'm just imagining if it's a huge project someday, everybody likes to do that. But I'm just gonna put that for now, just so I don't forget. This stuff here, so all this stuff is actually part of the KnowledgeNet specification for creating a knowledge node. And I haven't documented that yet, but that's why I have this here. So yeah, this is a summary. I could have had a subtitle, language summary. This is actually a subtitle. And yeah, if you want a summary, you can have it, but usually the summary is the first sentence. This is going to make me crazy because there's a lot of specs floating around in my head right now, so I want to kind of get it right. So I'm just going to keep this version all in sync for now. And copyright is the thing, license Apache 2.0. This is so I don't know if this is a license that should be under Creative Commons, or because this stuff, I'm going to say this Apache 2. Actually no, I need to use the actual identifier for the license. I'm going to allow commas between the licenses. That's what I'm going to do, because we have to be able to specify Creative Commons of licenses. There are short form specifications. NPM actually, I think, helped to define them all. License of licenses. Using license statement for open blah blah blah. License types. Here we go. Vendor stock, not permanent licenses. Nope, that's not it. Creative Commons license. License identifiers. Hi, Marco. License identifiers opening. License identifiers. Nope, that's not it. Standard. I can't believe I'm looking for this, but NPM licenses. Correctly setting license and package JSON. SMV license, generate license, NPM license, blah, blah, blah. Pioneer. There is a standard license name for everything. I'm just trying to figure them out. There they are. OSI approved licenses. Okay, so I don't think Creative Commons is going to be there. License readme. Nope, none of that's good. Should I call you open for everyone? I know. It's like, I know. We have to think of this stuff. License identifiers, NPM run generation. Oh my god. Wait. Oh, it's the SPDX. That's right. We did that for Go too. It's just the topic answer FBX. Yes, you almost could. Yeah. Master files, license expression, version, blah. Oh, well. Here they are. So this gives you the short version as well. Man, look at them all. So yeah, Apache, I know it was a -2. I already looked that one up. There it is. But I wanted to look up Creative Commons. So Creative Commons international attribution, commercial, non-commercial. No, we're not going to do non-commercial. That's dumb. Let's see. I think it's share-alike 4.0 international. I'm almost sure this is the one that we want. Is it by? But I do want to share-alike in there, so I think it's by SA. So by SA is actually no. I think we need to remove the because all right. So let's imagine we have a company that wants to use the spec and they want to build off of the spec, which they should. They shouldn't have to share their changes. So share-alike is the GPL equivalent in Creative Commons. So we actually just want CC BY. So I'm pretty sure the international one is the most supported. International CC BY 4. Yep, this is the one right here. So that just means you have to acknowledge that you used the thing from someplace. Which boils down to what? You know, like maybe adding in your copyright in your spec, you just say, hey, this is derived from this other thing here as a reference, and that's fine. I think people can pull that off. That's not going to hurt people. UMass 027 better than UMass 027? That's a good question. I do not know. I go with whatever's on the system, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I found if I mess with UMass, I get surprised later, because then I use another system that doesn't mess with it. Yeah, I'm just doing the stuff here, but I did want to tell you that I thought that was good news, so I'm super happy about that. I think we have our answer here. So, comma, bias A4. Most excellent. So we'll take the first paragraph to be implied. The stuff that's going to be, this I have to kind of think through. Yeah. So you can tell your people at your work that, not to worry. It should be all good. Oh, quite later too, I want to tell you, we can actually use, I don't know if you watched the video yesterday, but I was thinking through how to do the PEGN thing. We can actually use PEGN to make a grammar so that we can write a natural language command language for PEGN, so it doesn't have to use dash options. Yeah, we can actually use like natural language and leave articles in and out and all kinds of fun stuff. So I want to really talk to you about that later if you're interested. Anyone that's interested, frankly. But we could actually, spearhead the first natural language interface, command line interface API. So that would be fun. So I'm stopping it here because I need to think a little bit about what do we do with this. So this document is also going to become the documentation for any packages that are generated from it. And I have to figure out how to do that so that, stuff will go over there. Yeah, it sounds fun. I really want to do it. I can't wait. Another thing that's really great about this is actually when I get Ezmark done, I cannot wait. Just everything goes together. So when I get Ezmark done, see this here, I've been stressing about this because you cannot put hyperlinks in Golang documentation. But if I have my own Ezmark parser, which I can make with PEGN, then what I can do is when I come across a reference like this, I can translate this not into a hyperlink, but into sort of a parenthetical, hyperlink with an HTTP in front of it, that's right next to it, so that it appears properly. And that's to me that's a big deal, because then I can I can like really clean up. Like, I can't wait. Right now, I'm kind of struggling because I don't know where to put the end of the package documentation and the beginning of the individual documentation. It's almost like we need a section for that. So, so obviously this is going to go into. So I'm also going to have open here the libgo, the libPEGN stuff, and I'm going to be doing that because. Wait, do I even have one? I don't think I do. Oh man, I don't even have a package document for this package. That's not good. So yeah, I got lots to do here. I mean, the node is there, but that's not. This isn't the docs for the whole thing. So here we go. We have this, and what we're gonna do with it? Yeah. So I mean, we got that answered, so I can close that one out. And we got Sunburst taken care of, so we'll get rid of that one. And this is the old one, so I can close. Oops, I can close this. I don't want to overwrite what I already did. That's the problem of having too many windows. No, I don't. There you go. Go back there. There's still one. And so yeah. All right. Trying to decide how to identify. The goal here is I want to be able to have this README file document the whole grammar. So at one point, actually, stupid idea, but at one point I had the grammar, I had all the comments in here, and then I shifted and I said, okay, I'm going to make the grammar itself markdown. I'm just going to pull out the relevant pieces from the markdown. I couldn't read anything. It was insane. It was dumb mistake. So what we end up with is like these really terse minimal specifications that make a lot of sense, that are basically code, and then you have this README in here that goes with it. So any grammar package, I guess, has the license, the contributing agreement, the documentation for the grammar, and a file in it called grammar.pegn that can always be expected to be there. So the reason I'm trying to specify this kind of stuff formally, more or less, is so that people can, when we create a PEGN registry, which we've already started, that a registry just becomes a simple one-line database that just says, hey, here's all the grammars that are out there. And I don't have, it can be, it's just a Jamstack application. It doesn't have to have a database at all. And that's really great, because then if somebody wants to go look at other grammars, they can have, it's basically just a bookmarks list of all the grammars that exist, pointing to Git repos that contain grammars. And then they'll be able to pull down the version of that grammar and everything, just like Git, just like Go, which I really love that Go championed the way for all of that, because everybody else can do it now and not be accused of being irrational because you're you're building dependency on a particular system. All right, so that means I need to figure out how to. I'm kind of envisioning, how do I take this README file that has all this really great documentation, and assuming I have a really awesome parser, which I will because Ezmark, how do I take sections of this document and move them into auto-generated code? For example, how do I take the first few paragraphs and make that the generalized package documentation of the generated Go reference API? And then later, how do I take this example code snippet and its resulting AST code snippet and take those two things and generate example tests in the Golang content for that? So I'm really using this particular situation to use a very practical workflow for what somebody would want to do if they made a grammar. The first thing you're going to do to get a grammar when you make it is document it. And this isn't like RFC level of documentation, but it needs to be formalized. Okay, so and of course, how, what do we allow in terms of Markdown? Uh, you know, I think that we should just say it should be Ezmark. Ezmark is a simplified version of Pandoc Markdown, which is a slight extension to Common Mark, which are all Markdown derivatives. They're pretty standard across the board. So, and I haven't specified Ezmark yet. I have in my head, I have it, but I haven't. Actually, I have it. It's basically my simple. So it's basically simple mark. So if you go to links http rdvx.gg lang md, there you go. It's this one. This is my write-up about Markdown in general on rdvx.gg. If you go to basic, easy, and simplistic, you get to separation, basic Markdown. And it's basically this. So, it gets rid of a lot of redundancy, cognitive overhead, and you can just think about stuff much more simply than your standard Markdown. It's pretty much the same as Discord Markdown, kind of. Discord sucks in terms of its Markdown. It at least it supports it. Slack's Markdown is totally brain dead. The idiots who put that together had no... But at least you have it in Discord. All right. So, why would you thumb your nose at every existing markup standard and then decide to come up with your own markup language just for your stupid fucking application? It's so stupid. At least build on something. Don't make a new one that's completely incompatible. It's going to confuse everybody. There. I'm done. End of rant. I wish you could put marks in your rants. You know what I'm saying? I actually need to do that. I need to make I want to figure out a way to make a mark in my stream so I can put it as a text comment so people can say, hey, this is what I talked about at a given time. Yeah, but it's not that important. All right. So this is Markdown, and this is what we're doing, in case you're wondering. Everybody needs to learn Markdown. I personally believe Markdown is the most important language you'll ever learn. Whether you're a technologist or not, because it is the way that you capture your knowledge in a reliable, sustainable, versionable, shareable way. And that is the basis of KnowledgeNet. It's all Markdown. And it's hands down the world's leading format for knowledge, source syntax. So it's best that you learn it, even if you're just a writer. You just want to take notes, or you're a physicist or something. And yet they don't teach it. I have yet to find a single organization that officially teaches Markdown as a part of its curriculum. I'm not kidding. It's like the most important. You know why? Because it wasn't invented by an academic. It was invented by a writer. And yet it's used everywhere, even by all these academics, and none of them, not one, is teaching it. It's hyperbole, I get it. But I don't know. Somebody tell me why that is. PEGN is inspired by ABNF. BNF. Let's see. By languages. Let's see. ABNF and EBNF, which are used to capture languages and protocols. The document. The languages and protocols of the internet and other formal systems. And JSON. I mean, let's see, what do we call that? The leading standard for data or data serialization and exchange. All right. Inspired by PEG. By Brian Ford's parsing expression grammar. Oh, I have to take that link out. I think I actually have to do 2015 like that. I should probably link to it. Yeah, let's do that. And the let's see here. Boring stuff. People are going to be bored to tears watching this stream. This is not meant to be entertaining, just in case you're wondering. I'm just streaming what I'm doing. Oh, great coffee. Which leading let's see, which are used to document languages and protocols on the internet and other formal systems. Notations? There you go. Perfect. The notation used to document languages and protocols of the internet and other formal systems. Almost, that's like a really long sentence. My English teacher would get mad at me. PEGN is, she actually wouldn't. She didn't give a shit. my business writing teacher would get mad at me in college. I loved her class, man. She was so good. Totally aced her class. PEGN is inspired by Brian Ford's parsing expression grammar. And ABN, along with ABNF and EBNF, which are the leading notations used to document languages and protocols. Which are the leading, I'm going to simplify this. A lot of people are going to read it, so I'm going to actually put time in this writing. It's going to take me longer. If I'd had more time, I'd write you a shorter letter. Along with ABNF and EBNF, currently in leading grammar notations of the internet formal. Okay. Okay. ABNF and EBNF grammar notations. I don't even need to say that. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I alter my audience because I'm so used to explaining things to people who don't know what it is. So I have to decide, and this is something I wish a lot more writers would do, and it's also the reason Wikipedia is shit. because it doesn't have a target audience. It's impossible to have a target audience with Wikipedia. So you can't assume a level of vocabulary. You can't assume a demographic. You can't assume anything. And when I write, I go back and forth through that all the time. And so the best thing to get around that is to, in your mind, target who is the minimum, I suppose, level of experience. What kind of person are you writing this for? Are you writing this for, your parents, or are you writing it for an academic, a PhD in computer science? And unfortunately, too much stuff is written for academics with PhDs. And I'm going to decide right now that I am going to be writing for someone who has not heard of PEG. So that, mostly because I have to get that person to decide that this is worth exploring. Papers are difficult to read, are they not? They're so dense. I'm like, why can't they write it different? Why does it have to be complicated? This is why I can never be a professor. Can I just say? I was thinking about that again today. I was reading the Innovators book, the Walter Isaacson's book, which is phenomenal. I'm reading about Muli, who's so funny, and he, he was a fantastic professor because he liked to perform and everything. And certainly I like to do all of that. But I would never do that if I was forced to write an academic paper, because academic papers are for academics, and not even everybody can read the fucking things. How's it going, Bulls? So you just caught me on a rant there, but it just, look, I am, does it mean I think all professors are horrible people? No. I just think that whole hoity-toity theoretical bullshit needs to die. That's what I think. I hate it. Why can't I speak simply? Communicate simply. I'll tell you why, because you got a huge ego. That's why. You got to show how better you are than everybody else. And that bombastic shit has no place in my world. And therefore I can't be a professor. I'm sorry, I just killed my opportunities to be a professor. Anybody hearing that's going to be like, oh my God, he just doesn't get it. What if I do get it and none of you do? So, I mean, speaking to the academics. Reading academically is a different skill from reading regular books. I agree that it's bullshit and you have to have used it. Yeah. So, I'm a communicator. I always have been. I find that a really valuable skill. I think it's the most important skill, even more than coding or anything else, is knowing how to communicate. I love writing. I do like words. I'm not going to say I have the best words. In fact, I have the worst words. I make really bad mistakes all the time. But, I just enjoy communicating, which is why I'm sitting here talking to you. I think that, so I think Mole, I think his name is, so he did have a skill at breaking things down and being able to communicate very simply. So I really appreciate. They also accelerated him into the PhD program at like 14. So yeah. Theoretical papers. You know what people, this is what I don't like though, because I can kind of hear the echo in my head, devil's advocate. I know. So, the theoretical papers people, they tell you this because then they'll say you're just too lazy. Yeah, that's what they'll say. Everybody else has been doing it. Why do you have to boil the water and refuse to put everything in a particular format? I mean, I get, consistency. That's a completely different thing. This little tirade brought to you by, the lack of a specified audience as I write my first paragraph. Rule number 1 of writing, know your audience. So who's my audience? Rule number 1, know your audience. Right, consistently and concisely. And this is why I love my business writing class so much. And I love my English class, but it was because of the reading. It wasn't because of the writing. And I do love poetry, but it's, I write it. Your audience is compiler writers. Pretty specific, I think. I don't think it is, Zombie. And I mean, I'm going to contend with you on that. I'm not, I think that 90% of the people who come to this through a search engine are going to be compiler writers. They're going to be Guido Van Rossum kind of people. And Guido, if you're out there, at some point he's going to eventually find us. I got nothing bad to say about you, dude. I actually think he's from my tribe. I wouldn't pretend to have the ability to make a language like Python at this point in my life. But um, anyway, he's eventually going to come by, and people like him are going to stumble in here and go, "Oh, grammars, yeah, ABNF, what's that?" But I kind of want to make the case to the average YouTube reader, frankly, that learning how to parse the language and write a simple language is pretty damn fun. It is. Seeing your language, turn into an AST. Mine's not anymore. I broke mine to this morning because I just extended it. But seeing this grammar just become a thing and be able to modify it and I think eventually being able to write. I think one of the reasons the goals with PEGN, a lot of powerful CS concepts, just EBNF, for example, implies understanding recursion. It absolutely does. And one of the great things about PEGN or PEG in general is that it does not imply a bunch of that stuff. And ABNF, when you read ABNF, as people always bring up, was it ANL, ASL? I can't remember that one. I've never used it. It's like an electronic specification language. There's a lot of like formal specification language. ASN, yeah, that one. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I don't. I've never seen it. So, but I'm a real fan of grammars. I think I find myself, at least in this same room, maybe over in the far corner, with Guido and Chomsky and those guys, because they enjoy parsing language, frankly, and so that's the thing that I really get into. Anyway, so but I think more people could enjoy this one. In fact, one of my primary motivators is I actually want to motivate everyone to write a language. I think understanding how languages are parsed is, well, first of all, it's a fundamental of computer science classes at the 300 level or so. I actually might bust through a CS degree. I've been thinking about doing that. WGU has a CS degree, which it's comprehensive. It's not Harvard. Actually, Harvard's CS program isn't very good. But, so, yeah, most CS programs are not very good, which is why it's just about the paper. But just for fun, I wanted to kind of trudge through, and WGU's got a bachelor's of computer science you can get in like a year. There's a mechanic on YouTube who got it in 6 months. It's accredited by the same people who accredited Stanford and other places like that. So it's a legit degree. So actually, I don't know. I'm talking about this because, I have all the books that I would normally have to buy to get that I've gone through. Many of them I've already gone through for traditional parsing and computer science. $70 Springer textbooks that tell you what you could have found on the internet for free. God damn. That's that. Okay. So let me just remind myself, that is why I'm doing this. If I have my way, I'm going to bankrupt Springer. Because the idea of putting college level, I'm not downplaying the contributions of the people who wrote those books, but there's two reasons I want to do that. First of all, the people who are writing the books are not writing for people. They're writing for the college. There's this entire ecosystem of like people producing high-end textbooks that they make extra money for in the academic world because they have tenure. They don't have to fuck around with anything else. So they get free money without responding to the market in any way, can write whatever the fuck they want, and shove it out there on everybody. And the publishers lap it up, as do the colleges, who then force it on all the students and inflate the prices all the way up to 80, 90, 100 bucks when nobody would pay that on the free market if they had a choice. Nobody would pay that much money for that shit on the free market if they had a choice. But because the system is so rigged to make sure that their shit sells and that people have to buy it, the content never improves. It gets longer. It gets harder to understand. It gets more hoity-toity, because the whole purpose of that thing is to schmooze an academic evaluation council someplace and get them to buy it, not the students. Because, oh God, we would never trust the students to decide what they're going to buy to learn. The whole thing is just a shit fest. The whole academic thing, we're going to give you something. If you don't believe me, I'm just going to conclude this rant. I'm going to take a break because I need one. When I get this rant wound up, I need to just go take a break. So if you want to actually I'm going to put this on while I take a break. Okay. Actually, I can't play the whole thing because that would be a violation of YouTube terms. So I'm trying to play a really, really good YouTube player now that I'm like pushing to YouTube. So I won't show you the whole thing, but I strongly encourage you to go watch Wisecrack's video about Bill and Ted's Big Adventure and its commentary on the education system. And it basically tells you exactly what I am saying about the it's like not a lot in there. There he is, Pablo Freire. It talks to you about opening your head and dumping all the information in, and at the college level in particular, it's totally filled with this bullshit. It's just filled with this bullshit idea that you will get the knowledge from me on my terms as I deem you are worthy. And that is just bullshit. So please go read that. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back soon. I'm just going to go grab a little more breakfast. I'll be back. Yep, that's the one. I actually cannot send it to you, but because I'm going to be a good citizen here. All right. And I'm going to put the fish on for you, and I will be back soon. In fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and stop the stream because I kind of want to put a line in the sand. Actually, of this stream, I don't want to have YouTube videos that are disjointed. So I'm going to be back in about a half an hour. If you want to watch for me later. I forgive my kind of disorganization. This is new to me. But I think this is best for everyone because this will actually make a separate video. All right. So I'll talk to you in about a half an hour. Bye.